Hello viewers, me and team here. Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. In the last part we actually went and fought some bosses and whatnot, as in the Gargoyle, which is technically two bosses, and we rung the first Bell of Awakening, so what better time to ring the second one than right now in this video. So down we go towards Blight Town, and I showed off where Blight Town was back in the first video, I believe. So, well, we're gonna go there now for real. Now that I'm less likely to get Loller-owned Stomp's laugh, and I can actually progress through that area with relative ease now that I'm walking around with broken abilities. So, falling down, yes, we managed to not take any damage at all by dropping that ledge. Small shortcut, not a serious shortcut. And in all honesty, you could probably just fall the entire distance and roll and just take a small amount of damage, but not that much. On to the Valley of Drakes. You need the Master Key to take this route, otherwise you have to beat the Capper Demon and go through Blight Town, although you can get through Blight Town very quickly to reach the Gaping Dragon. I'll get to those guys eventually. I just didn't want to take on Capper Demon without a decent weapon, because those dogs are really annoying and can screw up your shield. Alright, so here we get to take on Fatty, and if you're playing in online mode, which I think I am in this part, some parts I am, some parts I'm not, just because I might be in party chat or something sometimes. And for some stupid reason, this game does not let you play while in online mode while in party chat. Not that you can't just go into private chat and still troll people, but whatever. So yeah, but I think in this part I am in online mode, and sometimes it'll say like, beware of Fatty here, which is kind of funny. You know, there's only a set number of words in this game you can use, and it is amusing that one of them is Fatty, and you saw like my ripostes do nothing. I'm better off just magic spamming them. It takes less skill and does more damage at this point. I'll eventually get better weapons, but not right now. And I can't believe I got that block off. And sometimes the game lets you get away with things. Sometimes. Yeah! Put that club where he doesn't want that club. And he's still alive! But one more hit will take care of it. So these enemies have a very high drop rate of dung pies, which is probably just what you wanted. Interestingly, I've read that they, a character later in the game will consume them. Yeah. That really happens. Like, you can feed the dung pies to a character later in the game. Scheiße! Anyway, yeah, and since they are purchasable for 500 souls, and will give 500 souls when consumed, you can use them as a sort of banking system. And of course it would be this item, the dung pie, that allows you to do that. Do that. Alright, so we're in Blight Town, and what better place to pick up dung pies than Blight Town? Now if you were coming through here the proper way, then that key that I used, that door that I used the Master Key to open, that's the key you would use, the key to the Ulando Ruins. So you'd be coming back up through this area to leave, and you would use that key to open the door in this direction. In other words, I'm coming in backwards because I have the Master Key, and I'm just going to run by that guy. If you're coming in this way, you want to move reasonably quickly. There's some guys who blow some toxic darts at you, and if you get toxic, well, it hurts a lot per second. In fact, you will probably die if you don't have blooming purple moss. And I might have one blooming purple moss maybe while coming into this area. So I don't want to get poisoned particularly, and I definitely don't want to get toxic, which will ruin your day. It's not like Pokemon Toxic, you can just switch out. No, there's no switching out in this game, so you're just going to die. And you have to be a little bit careful with this wheel, but honestly, platforming in this game, for the most part, isn't that difficult other than to get a few certain items, so no worries there. We're good. We're good. And on to lower Blight Town proper. Yes, where the poisonous swamp is. First we gotta take care of this guy. These things will spit fire at you if you let them get too close. They're otherwise not very threatening. They're really not that threatening anyway, because they have like, no poise at all, so you can stun lock them. And yeah, I believe I'm coming down here in human form, so I'm going to fight an NPC invasion. That's another nice thing about playing in human form, is that you can get invaded by in-game NPCs, such as Man-Eater Mildred. That's hot. Anyway. So, she rolls to avoid some of my magic arrows, which is... or soul arrows, magic arrows, what is this, Dungeons and Dragons? But her equipment is rather bad. In fact, she has the same plank shield I started with, so... she can't really block the spells too well if she doesn't roll out of the way, and I'm just going to fish because she's an NPC. And NPCs don't know how to handle fishing. And also because she's wearing nothing, which is kind of hot, but because she's wearing nothing, she has no poise. So yeah, you can just beat on her. I do not sound like a good person in this video. But then again, she is a woman clad in a sack over her head, which again carries some bad implications. But she is trying to cleave you with a giant cutting tool, so, you know, it's acceptable to mistreat her a little bit. I mean, come on, you have to put her in line. And we will do just that with a parry. And another parry. Because NPCs like this are not particularly hard to parry. And then, of course, we're gonna get attacked by one of these freaking gnat-type things. Which is yet another reason why Hidden Body is great. They will not detect you while Hidden Body is up, for the most part. I mean, if you run right into them, whatever that may want. Humanity, get. Decent amount of souls for taking her down, too. But the big thing here is the ability to summon her. Yes. If you beat her, you can summon her. Winning means joining, as the trope goes. And yes, I can still summon players, so I'm definitely in online mode. Sometimes I forget these things when I'm doing post-commentary, whether I was in online mode for one part or another. Well, yes. Yes, I was in online mode. Fancy that. And here I get to level up. Well, I take another attunement slot, basically. Another point in attunement allows me to equip one more magic spell. I would need to go up to 23 for another one, so I don't know if I want to do that. But certainly 5 attunement slots for a mixed strategy like this, where you're just taking advantage of high base magic adjust and not really going for any scaling. You might as well put your points into attunement, because you're going to have a lot of different spells that are, you know, above average, but you're not going to have anything that's really devastating in one tier of spell. So might as well put the points in attunement slots and get some attunements that allows you to use a mix of different spells, such as a decent heal and decent damaging spells and what have you, maybe decent pyromancies once I bother to get pyromancy, which is odd because, you know, if you really want to make this game easy, pyromancy is the way to go. You want to get that as quickly as possible, get your 20,000 souls, and just farm your way up to a max pyromancy club. It'll take you an hour or two of farming, but then you'll be able to just completely annihilate any enemy that isn't immune or highly resistant to fire. Anyway, we're going to cast Hidden Body again here, because there's some enemies who can throw crap at you, and then I'm just going to run through the poison muck here, and yes, barely make it. I almost got poisoned there. Not that poison is a huge deal. I could probably win the fight even while poisoned. But it is annoying, so it's nice that I didn't get poisoned. And if you cut off the gargoyle's tail, you could run the gargoyle tail axe here, even if you don't have the stats to like use it effectively. It gives you a lot of poison resist. And there's also other equipment you can wear that improves your poison resistance that I didn't get, including one in Blight Town. The Shadow set has even better poison resistance than this does. So you can go for that. But I have enough poison resistance to get through Blight Town without being poisoned, which a lot of people don't know how to do or don't even bother doing. But yes, you can literally run to Quilag's domain here without taking any poison at all. You can just run through the area, even with a minimum amount of equipment. Because I'm really just wearing some black leather stuff. It's not like I've decked myself out in anti-poison gear. I'm not wearing a poison bite ring. You know, I'm not walking around with 2 gargoyle axes trolling people. And another summon sign, but here we get the NPC summon we're looking for, the Great Man-Eater Mildred, inbound. Eventually. Well, they summon faster than human phantoms, that's for sure. And there we are. Your nice cleaver and plank shield. And sack helmet. Does like nothing. Lol sack. You got sacked by the defensive end. Wow, did my channel just get up to rated R? Well, you know what they always say about women, you know, those nice legs, they're so amazing. They have nice legs. Something like that. Anyway, right off the bat, I take a bad hit. But it's okay, because we have Man-Eater Mildred to stand in the lava and draw all the aggro while we throw some heavy soul arrows down. This boss is not as hard as it seems, even one-on-one. Like, if I wanted to, I could have fought her without any help at all, and just ran backwards, firing the crossbow, and, like, chipped at her, much like I did with the Hydra. Because as long as you back up and don't get greedy, or back into lava, which isn't that hard to avoid, it's not that hard. As you can see, I even have the Dragon Crest shield, so I have 85% fire block, so her fire attacks are pretty pathetic. Although if you let that stab attack she just did hit you, it does hurt a lot. Nice jumping dodge. Yeah, the NPCs don't fight the bosses particularly well, but they do at least draw aggro, which is useful. And we're just going to spam some heavy soul arrow to take down Flag, and then move on to the great soul arrow. Oh, I did that so I can fire it off faster, that's right. Yeah. Because once they draw aggro, oh no! Stepping in lava. But, because I'm wearing Dragon Crest Shield, this is forgiving, because I can still block her attacks. And because I've man-eater Mildred, I can even get her distracted for a while. Don't get too close to her once she's surrounded like this, though, because she will do that area of effect magic attack, and I'm pretty sure that can one-shot you or very close to it. If you're not full health, I'm almost certain it'll one-shot you at this range of health, so... Yeah, don't, like, camp her backside or something. As nice as those legs are, they can cause some damage. And, like some others, I run the wrong way after beating Flag. I'm like, wait a minute. No, let's not go backward without actually ringing the second bell of awakening. Let's go the way we're supposed to go. I did it! Yes, I did. That was a very skillful fight as well. Certainly a level of skill that all Dark Souls players would aspire to. Standing at range and firing off spells while an NPC draws most of the aggro. Yep. It's amazing. Anyway, here's the second Bell of Awakening. And speedrunners can get both Bells of Awakening in really, really impressive times. As in, like, they would have had that rung by my first part. And not even all the way through my first part. But I'm here all the same, playing this the easy way, relatively. Except for the Hydra fight. Running around to get the golems hit and then closing in on the Hydra is not the easiest thing you can do, but it's worth it. And don't worry, the game will get hard again. Eventually. In fact, we're opening up an interesting area in the game. Some players' very favorite area, and that would be Sen's Fortress. If you do not ring both bells, this gate will not open, so you really need to beat these two bosses to get really deep into the game. You can do a lot, however, before ringing the Bells of Awakening. If you really want to, you can actually go to New Londo Ruins. You can get you can get the ability to go into the Abyss and go into New Londo Ruins and like get all the items there. You could actually go almost all the way to one of the the Great Lord Nito and get all the stuff from the Tomb of Giants. This game lets you go out of your way a lot if you want. And yes, hidden doorway.
Oh dear, what have we here? Are you a new servant?
You want to say yes, because if you say no, he doesn't let you through, and then you have to wait, and then he'll ask you again. It's annoying, so don't do it.
Go along and have audience with our fair lady. I pray that you will mind your manners.
Yeah, I'll mind manners. Anyway, you can get some interesting dialogue from the Spider-Girl thing that's in here, but you need the old pendant to do it, and I don't have it. I'm really just coming in here for the bonfire and resting at it. Yes, I know that will prevent me from homeward boning, but I already rested at the bonfire down in Blight Town, so I wasn't going to save myself a significant amount of time anyway. So I'll run back out, which isn't as hard as it seems, because of that shortcut that I came in with. I can just go back out that way. I'll go through Blight Town eventually just to show it, when I can just curb stomp everything, because that's a more fun way to play a Blight Town. But oh well. Anyway, like I was saying, I rested there because eventually we're going to get an item that lets us warp to certain bonfires of our choice, and that's one of your options for warping. So, I'm not going to come back down here again until I can warp, but then I will, and I'll continue in this direction. There's really a couple areas that go really deep, like you can branch out from Firelink Shrine. You go through Catacombs and the Tomb of Giants, you can go through, really, the Undeadburg to the depths, to Blight Town, to the Demon Ruins in Lost Izalith. That's another path. And then you have Undeadburg to Perish to the Darkroot Forests and Darkroot Basin. And is that it? No, you also have Undeadburg to Undead Parish to Sen's Fortress, and then Orlando and the Duke's Archives. And then you have just Firelink Shrine to New Londo Ruins. So you have a lot of paths. And Valley of Drakes is kind of an interconnecting point. And actually, you can go Blight Town down to the Great Hollow and Ash Lake as well. I don't know if I'm going to show off the Great Hollow and Ash Lake in this playthrough. For a cheesing run, there's not a lot down there that I care about. I mean, maybe the Chloranthy Ring, but that's right at the start of the Great Hollow. So that's where you get into the Covenant, where you can turn into a dragon dude or whatever. If you're not doing that, and you don't want that dragon axe that you get by cutting off the ancient dragon's tail, or whatever, the immortal dragon's tail, really not a lot of reason to go down there, and it's annoying. Although I suppose with Hidden Body, I could just kind of drop down to the bottom, cast Hidden Body, and run past everything. I could do that, but then what do I get for it? Not a whole lot. Let me know. Maybe a bonus video, like after I've beaten most of the other stuff. Maybe. But otherwise, probably not going to do the Great Hollow. And it's really easy to die in the Great Hollow from falling. Because unless you've played it a whole lot, it's not particularly obvious what you can stand on and what you can't when you're trying to drop down. So if you're trying to get down quickly, you can often kill yourself in the process. If you're careful and you just take the slowest route down, you know, don't drop down a lot, okay, fine, that's great. But that's not a fun way to get down the Great Hollow, but neither is mass deaths. So I don't know. It's not a ideal area, but it's also a very much optional one, so whatevs. Anyway, I put Hidden Body on here. And that's an important tip, because you are much more likely to get poisoned climbing up than you are dropping down by those guys with the poison blow darts. And I think you'll even see them here at some point as I'm climbing up. But I managed to avoid getting poisoned. Yeah, right there to the right. That's a poison blowing dart guy. He hits you twice with this amount of poison resist and you're toxic. And there's a good chance I would have to burn all 10 of my Estus flasks to avoid getting killed by the toxic damage if I don't have a blooming purple moss plum. That hurts. That hurts a lot. And it's very easy climbing out of here to die if you don't have 10 Estus flasks plus 2 or whatever. Or even better. I don't know. Just be careful and you won't get poisoned though and you're fine. But yeah, a lot of people struggle in this area. And much of it is related to those awful toxic dart dudes, which I managed to not even take a hit from. So I'm in good shape as I'm coming out of Kralag's Domain back through Blight Town. Now I just have to get past these Ogre Club fatty dudes. Ah, no! Don't club me. Don't club me, bro. Yep, 2 heavy soul arrows will stagger them. Heavy soul arrow and great heavy soul arrow seem to carry a lot of stagger ability. I find that interesting. I thought only the stronger spells did, but now apparently the heavy soul arrows do too, although they have a long charge time. But what you can do is alternate between soul arrow and heavy soul arrow while at a sufficient distance from somebody. And you can probably hit like a human player now and then with it. Because they'll think soul arrow or heavy soul arrow and they'll get the opposite fired at them. They'll screw with their roll timing. Like if you try to roll through at a distance a soul arrow, but it's actually a heavy soul arrow, it'll hit you as you're getting up. Or you won't have time to roll again often. So that's interesting. It just doesn't do enough damage to really be viable in multiplayer. But it can be fun. Especially the only time I would really use it, and it would be useful for this purpose, like how someone runs away to use an Estus Flask, you could probably hammer them with a Great Soul Arrow and hit them for like 200 damage. Which you could also just do with a buffed crossbow of some variety, but yeah, I mean that would kill them, and it tracks a bit too, so that's helpful if they're running away. It's not too easy to run away from soul arrows, because then it's even hard to dodge, because you can't really tell what's happening. But all in all, that was a pretty efficient run through Blight Town, and taking out Kralag. That can go much worse, even if you're a bit experienced, if you mess up, especially in Blight Town getting poisoned. But I managed not to. I mean, of course, the people who are really, really awesome at this game can get through there consistently without any problems. But I like that I got through there without any serious problems. In fact, I barely had to heal at all. A little bit, that bonfire. I'm not sure I took a hit from Flag. No, I did. I stepped in lava, and I got hit in the beginning. So, yeah, not perfect, but close enough. We're in good shape going down and coming back up. And now I'm back in Firelink Shine with a lot of souls, so that gives me the option to buy some more things, maybe upgrade my levels a bit. And judging by the amount of time I'm seeing remaining in this video, I will be doing that in this part. And I'll explain that after I get back to the Vinheim Dragon schoolboy here that can't figure out how to get through a door that's locked.
Oh, hello. Well, you certainly are keeping at myself.
Yes. Good to hear you're fine. Anyway, we can buy another copy of Heavy Soul Arrow, but I'm gravitating towards this Great Heavy Soul Arrow. It really hurts a lot. It's probably the strongest low-tier spell you can pick up. You need 16 intelligence to use it, which isn't that much. You could probably get by with 14 intelligence and just rocking the Heavy Soul Arrow, honestly. But, I'm having fun with magic, so I went up just slightly on it. These other things are okay, but they're not great. You can get a better magic weapon spell later for free. And magic weapon itself is kind of crummy, especially with these low magic adjusts. But what the heck, why not buy all of it, right?
Alright. That'll...
And so, we are now fully fledged mages. Sort of. And yes, I have the ability to use Great Heavy Soul Arrow. And it's time to start taking points in endurance. I don't want to be pure magic, I want to eventually use an elemental weapon of some kind. So I start taking points in endurance here. That'll become more significant later as I get more stamina and everything. But for the time being, throw a point in. Yeah, we can get lots of soul arrows now. And quite a few copies of Heavy Soul Arrow, too. And mostly I'm just arranging this to my liking. And that's a pretty good lineup. That's a lineup I'll run for much of the game. But anyway, hey guys, we are coming up on the end of the video. Hope you're enjoying this. I'll see you in the next one. Me and team signing off.